In the modern day, no one is protected from online bullying, which is also known as trolling. Trolling has become an extremely dangerous behavior on social media platforms. The lack of restrictions allows users to exceed their boundaries more than in real life. Therefore, this makes trolls the web's darkest users who thrive on negative attention. The trolling case of Caroline Picchio in Italy made her commit suicide after being targeted online, and the social activist Caroline Cariato Paris faced rape threats on Twitter after winning a battle on British banknotes. Therefore, Twitter reacted to the rape threats sent to Cariato Paris by creating a button to report abusive tweets. This made Twitter and Facebook have the same settings by displaying this button on every message.
Facebook is the largest player in social media town, and it's widely acknowledged they're leading the industry with their measures to fight cyberbullying. The problem is new social networks pop up all the time. They often can't, won't, or haven't put in the policies or the principles to join the cyber fight.
A troll is
someone who
deliberately provokes
online users through offensive or
provocative comments.
Recent figures have shown that 1,209 people were convicted of internet trolling in 2015. What is the reason behind trolling?
Often people hide behind their anonymous identification online, so they are able then to bully people in a way that they perhaps would not be able to do face to face.
It could be jealousy. It could be frustration with that person's own life or situation. It could be pure boredom. It could be nastiness. Or it could be just that the troll has an overinflated sense of self.
they are hobbyless, or they're just angry and want to unleash their words upon people they don't really know.
سبب من أسباب إن الناس يسوون ترولينج هو إن يحسون بالنقص، فلما يطلعون العيوب اللي قدامهم يحسون بالاكتمال.
Myself, I think it's one of them is having fun. I'm a big fan of YouTube. I spend most of my time on YouTube, and I enjoy reading the comments. People fight all the time, and it's just fun to read all of that.
So is trolling creating an insulting culture?
What I find interesting is that a lot of public figures tend to let the trolling comments be taken care of by positive comments, so they kind of leave it to itself.
للأسف الحين وايد عدد الترول زادوا لأن الشيء قام يصير يضحك، والحين بدال ما الناس تشجع الباقي على الأشياء الزينة اللي يسوونها يدورون أي شيء يعني مو بزين ويعلقون على هالشيء بس بدال ما يمدحون بعض يقولون أشياء زينة.
It does create a very offensive, vile culture because people think that they can get away with just saying any words that hurt people.
I guess this is our culture. We fight all the time together, and the online world is just a reflection of what we do in real life. And I don't think it's creating an offensive culture, it's just reflecting who we are.
Have you ever experienced trolling?
I have been trolled once before. It was on Instagram. It was basically somebody with a private account leaving a really nasty comment. I was really shocked and surprised and quite hurt by it. Not by the comment itself, but just by the action, because I always try and be as positive and upbeat in all of my platforms as much as possible. So it was actually quite shocking, and I was really surprised by it as well.
أنا صادني ترولين قبل، في ناس سووني ترول. أنا عندي قناة على اليوتيوب مالت جيمنج، فعندي فيديوهات أنا أقيم ألعاب وكذي. كانوا في ناس يسوون ترولينج، مثلا يعني واحد يجي يكتب لي أسوأ مراجعة شفتها في حياتي ذي بدون ما مثلا ينصحني شلون أسوي الفيديو أحسن، بس يجي ويبي يخرب مزاجي. صراحة يعني في بعضهم يكتبون أشياء تضحك بس مو معناته إنه صح، يعني أنا ضد هالشيء، يعني غلط اللي يسوونه. أنا عرفت إنه غلط يوم صادني أنا الشيء. أنا قبل كنت أشوفه إنه يضحك لأن يصيد واحد ثاني، بس يوم صادني أنا لاحظت إنه مو بحلو الإحساس يعني.
Yes, I have experienced trolling. It was through Ask.fm and Facebook mostly. It wasn't a pleasant time. I did try to go to a lot of people, but nothing happened. I ended up going to a friend of mine who tracked a lot of people's IP addresses. It made me feel nice at that time by getting a friend involved, but before that they got me at my lowest point and it wasn't a very nice experience.
صادني وكان في الانستغرام واللي صار إن رديت على الشخص اللي كتب لي كلام سلبي، وتفاجأت إنه لما رديت عليه بطريقة إيجابية رد علي بأسلوب كلش مختلف عن اللي كتب لي إياه، فكان شيء عادي بالنسبة لي.
Well, yes, I have experienced trolling. I didn't experience people trolling me, but I trolled a lot of people. I didn't take it too far. I can give you an example. There was one video on YouTube where just a band playing, and I just thought that the guitar player looked like Steve Jobs, and I went to the comments and I was like, yeah, Steve Jobs is playing guitar. And I got I don't know, 3 likes and 2 comments about that, and nobody really felt offended.
Do you consider their comment offensive?
I was offended by her comment, I'm assuming it was a girl, because it was from a stranger and it was unprovoked and it was obviously designed to hurt me.
أنا مصادني الترول، يعني حسيت بهانة، يعني لأن الحين أنا تعب روحي أسوي فيديو شطولة وأخرت لأن أسوي بوست يك واحد بس يكتب كلمة مو بزينة هاللون ويحبطك، يعني يضايقك، شعور كلش مو بحلو.
I do find some of the comments offensive, especially during the low period of my time, but nowadays I just laugh at them and ignore them because they're silly.
أنا ما أعتبره offensive لأن اللي كتبه أو أي شخص كتب التعليق ماله عبارة عن رأيه، يمكن هو ما عرف يوصل معلومته بطريقة يعني ضربة، بس still يعتبر رأيه وما يأثر فيني.
It really depends on the context and depends on what you're saying. Personally, I don't really say offensive stuff. I just feel like it's not fun to do so. It's not polite. But in general, I really enjoy even reading and going through the offensive comments.
So is trolling considered as a crime?
I believe there was a case where a young man had trolled on somebody's testimonial site after their death and had caused a great deal of upset to the family involved. He was jailed, I believe, for 18 weeks and banned from using social media for 5 years.
In some countries it actually is illegal to troll. In New Zealand they've made it illegal recently. In Arizona in the United States you can get up to 25 years jail for trolling, and in the UK as well you can get around 2 years for trolling.
There has been some very serious cases of trolling where people who have lost loved ones have been trolled, where there has been cyberbullying, manipulation through trolling and offensive trolling. So it is a very serious issue and one that does need to be dealt with.
According to the Telegraph newspaper, in 2015, convictions for crimes under a law to prosecute internet trolls increased 8-fold in a decade, with 155 people jailed for sending messages which were grossly offensive or of a menacing character.
It goes beyond being purely offensive. It can cause a lot of harm and really damage people's lives. Trolling in the form of cyberbullying has led to people being ostracised and victimised, and also has led to people committing suicides as well. Whether or not it's a crime depends on the outcome of the trolling. So if it's just a comment, 1 or 2 comments, it can be hurtful but reasonably harmless. If it leads to a different outcome, which trolling can sometimes do, especially with teenagers, then absolutely yes, it is a crime, and it should be a crime.
According to the Guardian newspaper, 1 in 4 teenagers suffer hate abuse online in 2015. Should social networking sites be improved technically?
To technically prevent trolling can be very difficult because computers cannot read subjectivity. Therefore, one way perhaps of doing this is to have to employ more moderators.
I suppose the founding fathers of the internet were all about the freedom of information and passing information, and that in their minds that there wasn't so much security and restrictions on everything that happens on the internet. However, I think if they had have known that cyberbullying and trolling and this was going to happen on social media sites, they might have had a different view.
Online abuse and cyberbullying have emerged as major issues alongside the explosion in popularity in social media sites.
I think what should happen is that if someone is reported as having trolled somebody else, that the platform takes action, because I think a lot of the platforms are very slow or hesitant to take action and I think they should be proactive in banning trolls.
Should social media prevent anonymous identities?
I do believe that some social networks should prevent anonymous sign-ups. For the reason being is that I think by their nature they are open and people should be identified by their face and true identity. This in itself, I believe, would prevent trolling because the comment becomes owned by that particular person.
If you are causing offence, trolling or hatred, then that anonymity should be relinquished, and the providers of the social networking sites should be given up the names of the anonymity to the police or the authority.
No, I don't think anonymous identities should be prevented because at the end of the day, even public identities can also troll others.
How can individuals avoid being trolled?
Number one, don't engage with the troll. You are essentially feeding the troll if you respond to a troll. They are looking for a response from you. So if you don't respond and you don't ignore, then you're not feeding that narcissism, egotism, or what the troll is looking for.
I think education and awareness raising is one of the best ways around this, and also an understanding of the rules of netiquette, how to behave online.
أسهل شيء ممكن الواحد يقدر يسويه على أساس إنه يتجنب إلكتروني هو إنه يسوي أكاونت برايفت وما يقبل إلا الأشخاص اللي يعرفهم.
Well, if you don't want to be trolled, at least by me, don't really upload some stuff that might be a bit stupid. I mean, don't really make fun of yourself, don't make a joke out of yourself, and you'll be safe.
At the end of the day, you can't really control what people are going to do or say about you. Just be true to yourself, don't react to any comments, and just delete any comments, block people if need be strong and just believe in yourself.
Some of the behaviors are, on one end, I don't know if I would say exactly harmless, but don't really mean to cause any permanent emotional damage. It's silly, it's absurd, it's intended to be kind of amusing, both for the troll and for those who may be witnessing the behaviors. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you can get really nasty behaviors, really abusive behavior.
Trolling is creating an emotional, psychological effect on individuals due to the offensive messages being sent online. These messages are destructive because they affect individuals' daily lives and causes continuous sources of distress.
Stop and think before posting something online that might be upsetting to someone. Think about how you would feel if you were in their position.
Some individuals suffer greatly from severe side effects, which can result in emotional breakdown, depression, and in some cases, committing suicide.
Nobody deserves it, and we can all help to put an end to it.